Hey everyone, welcome to the video. My name's Steve, and if you're new to my channel, these videos are all about digging deep on the cost of ownership. And in today's video, I'm going to take the spec of my 992 and I am going to create it in 7 different regions on the Porsche web configurator. If you've been watching the videos on my channel, you'll know that I've done some max out videos where I've taken the cars and I've put every option I could do onto that car to see how high I could make the cost go. Now, I've only been doing that on the UK web configurator because that's the region I'm in and that's how I configured my car before I bought it. After those videos went up, there was comments from viewers and subscribers that were asking about things I'd missed off and said I hadn't got it as expensive as I possibly could have done. When I looked at the US web configurator, which is where most of the comments had been coming from, I could see that there was parts on there that the US could add onto the car that weren't available on my configurator, and I started to wonder, well, is it just the US or is it everywhere? So rather than randomly just go around the web configurators and try and figure out what the differences were, I thought, well, I've got a 992, I spec'd mine on the UK one, why don't we take my spec around the 7 regions that you can choose from at the beginning of the Porsche website and look at all the car configurators and see how much the car comes to in each region and see just how much an entry level is as an entry level in that region. So you'll know if you go to the Porsche website and you just put in Porsche.com, it'll take you to a landing page and it'll ask you what region you're in. Usually I would go straight to the Great Britain one, but if we take a look at the list at the beginning, you'll see that there's 7 different regions there that they've broken down the world into. I'm going to go through each region, I'm going to pick one country from each region, and I am going to build my car in that configurator and show you what the cost of that entry level 2 car is, and then we'll compare it at the end and see who was the cheapest and maybe why. Before we start, what I'll do is explain that in each region, obviously the configurator gives you the total price in the currency for that region. Now, to get a comparable price, what I need to do is bring it back to Great British Pounds because that's what my car was in and that's what my price needs to be compared to. So what I've done is I've been on the TravelX website, and for each region, in each place, I have taken a price that is the consumer price that I would get if I was to go and exchange my money personally, not the rates that you would see on a stock exchange. I've done that because if you went and exchanged your money at the travel exchange, they're going to give you less of a rate than you would see on the market because they make money on the transaction. So I've done it at that price because if I was to turn up in any of these regions and buy the car myself, that would be the exchange rate that would be on my bank account or credit card or however I was going to pay for it. So that is how I've done it. Another disclaimer here, obviously currency prices change all the time. They can fluctuate depending on the market. So my comparison prices may not be the same depending on when you're watching this video. What I've done is I've been through and I've spec'd this car already. Every single one of these Porsche codes are in the description below, so if you want to click on them and go through, you can go and check them out yourselves. So what we'll do is we'll hit the first region on the list, and that is Africa in the drop down box, and we are going to go to the South Africa choice in that list. So bringing up the first example there, the currency that's being used there in South Africa on the configurator is the Rand, and the price is 1,897,950. The only thing I can see added extra in South Africa is the Bose sound system. Let's get a translation on that South Africa price. That Rand price comes in at £94,647.16 at today's price of filming this video. The next region we're heading over to the list is Asia, and I picked Japan for this one. Now we're working in yen, and this one was a little bit more difficult to do because although I can translate the website when you go into English straight off the page, I cannot get the configurator pop up to translate to English. So I had to try something which was the Google Translate app. If anybody's ever tried that, it is quite good, but some of the words come out a little bit odd depending on what the terminology is. So I've tried my best here. If I've missed anything, bear with me because there is a couple of other ones featured a little bit later on where I had to do the same thing. So popping up that Japanese configuration there, we come out at 14,897,000 yen. So in that price, they don't get a Bose sound system. It's just the standard one, and the rest of it is just the same as everywhere else. So I was able to add my spec on. The TravelX translation then is £109,057.79. So that's a little bit more expensive than it is for me in the UK market, and you don't get any more extras added onto the car that makes that price higher. So maybe there's a little bit of import tax included in that. Next one on the list is Australia Oceania, and I've decided to go to New Zealand for this one. Now we'll pop the New Zealand car up there and it comes out at $226,340 New Zealand dollars. They get a slightly different entry-level spec here with some things already included in the price. Like me, they get a minimum leather spec interior already in there. They are forced to take the minimum of the 14-way electric seats. New Zealand also ends up with a non-removable rear wiper. They also have the reversing camera added on with the park and front sensors, and they get a Bose sound system on their set. The other thing that I find a little bit odd that was different to everywhere else is that they get metallic paint as a free option. So as part of this hefty jump in price that they have to face, they get these extras inbuilt to the car, but they also get the choice of any paint color apart from the special paints. If we do a Travel X comparison there, we come out £126,574.21. So I'm not surprised the price is higher there. It's higher than Japan, but they get a few little extras already built into the car. I'm guessing this is the furthest these cars travel from Germany when they're being shipped. I don't really know why they're forcing them to take these extras on the car at an entry level, but it does seem to increase the price somewhat. Now, if we head back onto the next region on the list, it is Europe. And I know I'm already in Europe as a UK country, but I thought, well, my car's the standard that we're comparing it to. Let's pick a different country in Europe and see how theirs measures up to the UK, with it being the same region. For this one, I've decided to go with the home of the car, and we've gone with Germany. So there's my car spec'd up on the German website, and it comes to €112,194.90. Now, picking through all of the German spec as best as I could with the Google Translate, there doesn't actually seem to be that much difference in the entry-level spec on that car than there was to the one that I bought. So the only thing I could really pick out was it seems like they get 2 years free satellite navigation, all that, the sort of stuff that goes with the software to give you all these services that you have to pay extra for. That looks like it's there for 2 years. So the Travel X exchange rate on that one at the moment is £101,681.08. Heading over there onto the Latin America region, we are heading to Argentina. Now again, I had to use a Google Translate to look through this because I don't speak Spanish, but picking through quite a lot of this spec, it does seem like there is literally no inclusions on this for the price. Now if I put the picture up now of me speccing the car, it comes out at $340,835. Now the Argentina price there in dollars is extremely high compared to what I thought it would have been, and I think that's probably got something to do with import taxes into the country already being included in the price. What probably stings them even more there is they don't get any added extra value in that price. They're getting the standard car by the looks of things. There's no extra upgrades to seats or anything like that, so they're basically paying it quite a bit of a premium to get those cars into Argentina. But if we take a look at the Travel X exchange rate for the dollars, I would be looking at $255,249.76 to buy the same car as I got for $84,000 in the UK. Zipping back in the other direction, we're heading into the Middle East. Out of that Middle East list, I have picked Abu Dhabi, and it looks like it is the dirham. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I haven't. I've put the spec in there, and the price, if we bring that up, comes out at 425,080 dirham. They actually get quite a few things included in their spec. Funnily enough, because it's hot there and I'm guessing cars overheat and, you know, fires, etc., they get a fire extinguisher included. They also get the Porsche entry and drive system. If anybody's unfamiliar with that, it is the coded key so that when you walk up to your Porsche, it will unlock the car and you can just put your hand into the handle and open the door and get straight in and drive off without having to touch the key fob. They also get Power Steering Plus. They get the full leather included like I do as part of the price, and they also get the electric slide and tilt sunroof included. I can understand why they get that. It's a hot country. It's probably something that everybody orders on the car anyway. The one thing that they don't get upgraded, which I thought might be strange considering what was on the car there in the area of the world, is I thought they might have upgraded the stereo system, and they haven't. They still only get the standard one that we can get here in the UK, but I thought they might have put at least a Bose one in there as part of the price. Now if we go over to the Travel X exchange, that car comes out at £88,440.41. That seems quite a competitive price considering where we've looked already in the rest of the world. And then last but not least, I didn't leave you to last on purpose, you're just bottom of the list, I'm sorry, it was alphabetical, is the North American region, and that is the USA. So having done a few of the max out videos, I know that quite a few of the comments came from viewers in the US, so if I got any of these bits wrong or there's things I've missed, feel free to stick them in the comments for people to read and educate me a little bit more. But that car up on the screen now there, my spec comes in at $107,020. That is a lot cheaper in US dollars than what the price was in Argentina, and you get a few things included here and slightly different changes that we don't get in the UK, so let's see at the end what that price conversion is. On the screen I've just put the configurator page up there to start with, because you'll see that the base price is $99,200 before I add any spec. You are immediately greeted there with a $1,350 fee that has to be added on top. In every region I could see, even though using the Google Translate, that there was a definite use by Porsche to use terminology for parts and specifications in that region that made more sense to the marketplace. Now you'll see by two images that I'm putting up on the screen now, one after the other, that the first one is the US market with a description of the engine or motor in this case and the terminology used underneath for that marketplace, and then you will see in the UK one exactly how they've worded it for the same specification list on my documentation. In these standard features you get the first 10,000 1-year minor service included as part of your price. On top of that you also get the reversing camera added onto the car, entry and drive, you get home link, and then you get something called Cirrus XM, a 3-month trial membership as part of the price. I don't get that in the UK, I'm not familiar with what it is. Again, if you want to tell me what that is in the comments, feel free to give me some information, and anybody else that wants to know what that is in case they don't know as well. Now I've put that spec in there, we've got the price. What is the final travel currency exchange to see how it compares? Put that up and the car comes out at 80,146 and 78 pence. So now we've been around all the regions, let's put up a list of most expensive to least and see where everybody ranks based on their region. Obviously at the bottom of the list there we're coming in with the Argentinians, who are probably paying quite a bit of import tax, I'm guessing. In fifth we actually have the Germans in their own market, which I found quite strange. And then right at the top we have the US price coming in at the cheapest compared to my price in British pounds. It's interesting to see that not every base 992 is always a base compared to other regions around the world. So there we go. I hope you've learned something. I hope you found it interesting. If you've enjoyed that video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again in another video. Thank you very much. Bye.